Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Prediction Show here on Eagle Pass Sports Central. My name is Ruben Valadez. We're coming to you live today from Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass. We want to thank our friend Adan Ortiz for opening his doors to us and welcoming here today. We've got, as usual, the coaching staffs from both the Eagles and the Mavericks to talk about last week, week 8, and the coming week, week 9 in high school football. Before then, though, we have a couple of special guests, and we want to remind you to join us, as always, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, and live on KINL 92.7. On behalf of our partners at KINL 92.7 and Universal Media Connections, we want to thank their sponsors, Sangar Furniture, La Villita Tortilla Factory, Border Federal Credit Union, Stat Emergency, Texas Diamond Garage, Chad Harper Attorney at Law, Sarita Tortilla Factory, Joe Ruiz and Associates, Lorena Melo State Farm, Choches Barbecue, United Medical Centers, Los Venados Tammany Insurance, and Retro Ranch Western Wear. Thank all of their sponsors. And again, we want to thank our friend Adan Ortiz here at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass for his hospitality. Our special guests today are staff members. One of them is a head director of both of the band programs at Eagle Pass High School and CC Wynn High School here in the district. And if you have a child in band, you know that October is known as Bandtober. Lots of traveling, lots of competitions, and both of these staffs are just coming out of that part of the season. We're going to talk to them a little bit about their band programs, their students, and what they bring to the, not only to the games, but to the environment there at each of their high schools. I'm going to start here to my right. Miss Corina Mesa, Assistant Band Director at Eagle Pass High School. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So you are just coming out of what we call UIL marching band competition. Happened last week up in Converse. You've been with the band program 18 years. Of course,
18
Mr.
years.
David Solis is the head band director at Eagle Pass High School. Mr. Solis couldn't join us today. He's traveling with some students for mariachi competition, for regional competition. So you see a little bit of what goes into these programs. Ms. Mesa, you joined a program that's been successful for decades and decades. 18 of those have, of course, been under your belt. Talk to us a little bit about what it takes year in and year out to sustain that level of excellence.
Well, we start just like the sports. We start in July in the summer. We do 8 to 5 basically all day. Just like the sports, we're out there sweating, blood, tears, dedication. The kids have progressed a lot this year. We're super proud of them. We couldn't ask for more. We know they did the best that they could on Saturday. We didn't get the result we wanted, but that doesn't define our program, and we're looking forward to next year redeeming ourselves, moving forward, getting better and stronger.
Now, you're in a unique position marching season-wise, because you're also in charge of the color guard during marching season. So you've got kind of dual jobs, and we'll talk a little bit about in a minute about what else after marching season comes up for band students. But talk to us a little bit about the challenge of making sure that what is on the field, both in terms of marching, sound, and color guard, comes into a cohesive unit.
So color guard, I also teach color guard. They're also part of the visual effect of the show. There's a part of the score that goes to the visual, and that includes props, the color guard, the visuals and things like that. So they definitely add to the show. They help bring the concept, the theme of the show to life. You see it in the colors, you see it in the flags. Our show was called Rise, and we had a phoenix and we had fire and flame. So they added to the show in that perspective.
So you mentioned it a little while ago, everybody knows about two-a-days for football, but your students start in the summer too, and often go most of the day. There's a session in the morning and there's a session in the evening. What is the challenge in getting your students to excel not only musically as part of your program, but also keeping their academics high?
Yeah, that is a big struggle. I mean, we tell them to focus in on, the end goal. When you perform, you get that feeling, that overwhelming feeling, like all the work that you put in, it's right here. This is what it's for. And so we try to tell them to look forward to that moment. And obviously they have to pass to be able to participate, but we just keep them motivated. Like, this is our end goal. But in order to do that, you've got to put in the time. You've got to keep up with your grades. It's not just about band. Obviously, band is number one for us, but we also understand that their academics are equally as important.
Absolutely. So we're coming out of so-called marching season. We've got a couple of weeks left in the football season. In fact, you've got a homecoming parade to prepare for tonight. It's homecoming week
Yes.
for the Eagles. After marching season is done, a lot of folks go to the football games and think that what they see at halftime is about all that band students do. What's left for band students between now and May?
For us, we have it's just the beginning for us. Like, for example, we have region band coming up, and that's in December. So the kids are preparing for that. It's individuals practice music and they audition individually. And if they make it to a band and they get to perform, or they move on to the area level. And then if they make it, they move on to state level. We also have indoor percussion. We have Winter Guard, which is the color guard, and they do their own shows in the gym floor, and it's a whole production. So they also have, early morning practices, Saturday, what we call like camp days, where they learn the whole show in one day or half of the show, and it's a lot. It's a lot for them. We also have our Christmas concert coming up, and then we have solo and ensemble, and we have the big one in March is UIL concert and contest, concert and sight reading evaluation. That's the next big one. That's the most important one, in my opinion.
And then, of course, concert and sight reading is a band on stage, no longer on the field. And talk to us about what your bands have to prepare for that.
So for marching, it's one big band. We have different periods, but we're all in the same show. For concert season, it's split into two bands. This year we have two bands. So each band there's a varsity band, which is Mr. Solis. He's the director of that one. And they have to play a certain level of music. And there's the non-varsity band, which is the one that I'm in charge of. And we have to play a certain level of music. We have to prepare 3 songs, and then we go on stage and the judges evaluate us. And then we go into a separate room and we have to play music that we've never seen or heard before. We have to teach the kids in 7 minutes for the non-varsity, 10 minutes for the varsity, and then we have to play it for the judges. In that little bit of time, we have to teach them a whole song, and the kids are expected to play it, and they judge them on their sound and other things like that. But it's a big deal, and that is the true test of their growth over the year. And that for us is a big it's a big deal. It's a big honor. When they get a 1, it's just we've met our goal for the year.
Absolutely. We want to congratulate you on an outstanding marching season and wish you the best moving forward in whatever is left for you all from here to the end of the year. Thank you so much for joining us. You think you want to be in band? How did all that sound, huh?
Lots of fun.
We want to turn our attention to my left here, head band director at CC Winn High School, Ruben Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations. Your band will be advancing to area competition for UIL marching here on Saturday. Your program is in a little bit of a unique position, right? Eagle Pass High School is a program that, again, for more than 4 decades has had a standard of excellence. Just like the football program, CC Winn High School is a relatively, new program, but you've had really an incredible amount of success over the past couple of years under your leadership. Talk to us about what it's like to almost have to build a program from the ground up and the challenges that entails.
Well, what you have to do is, or what we did here was we had to figure out what our weaknesses were. And so once you figure out what your weaknesses are, you start talking to your staff and you start putting them in certain situations, very much like football. You have your offensive coordinator, you have your defensive coordinator, then you have your line coach, you have your running back coach. Well, that's kind of what I did with the music staff. I got the music staff and I put one in charge of the percussion section. I got a woodwind instructor to take care of my woodwinds, and a brass instructor to take care of the brass. And at the junior high, we did the same thing. At one point we had a clarinet who took care of the woodwinds. We had a brass French horn who took care of the brass. So what I did there is I just put the pieces of the puzzle out there, and they each worked on the weakness that we had and made it a strength. So once you build that strength, that's where you start kind of having those building blocks to have a successful program. Now, the success wasn't overnight. It was one of those that we had to take steps, moving forward. But to get to the point where we're at right now, it's been a remarkable journey. And I think it's something that everybody has been proud of. In the course of the years, we haven't received anything lower than a first division in marching. We've been receiving first division since the school opened in 2007, I believe. And in that course, starting around 2015, we've had about 4 area finals awards that we have received. And the elusive one is a state, and that's what this Saturday is all about. We're trying to work toward that. We are going into the home of the state champions, Cedar Park, and in that, Cedar Park and Rouse are number 1 and number 2 in the state. You have Leander also, probably number 3 in the state. And so we're going up against those bands, and you always look forward to the challenge. You're hoping that what you've built up to this point is good enough, and at least good enough to put a product out there that can compete against those programs.
And I'll talk to you a little bit about the same thing I talked to Ms. Mesa about. A lot of times it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. It's a long race.
Yes.
Your students have been attending rehearsals since July. Is that right? And talk to us a little bit about what that means to bring them from that point. You're welcoming in freshmen into a new program to getting them to be a cohesive unit that's able to go to area.
It's actually crazy. We actually start right after concert and sight reading contest. So we actually start about April, and we start taking the kids outside in this location that we call the Plaza. They're right next to the band hall, and we start working on sound. So we are at it from April, May, 2 weeks of June, which is right after graduation. We're 2 weeks in June. We give them 5 weeks off, and then we come back in July. And so from July all the way to this point, it's a very thorough process of working sound, working on conditioning, trying to get these kids. The way we tell them is that you're the athlete from the waist down, and you're the musician from the waist up. And because they have to be running all over the place. If you've ever seen us in our show, you see students fluttering or jazz running all across the field, plus having to have the lungs to be able to produce a sound out of their instrument. And we're not talking about a weak airstream. We're talking about a very strong airstream. So these kids have to be physically fit to be able to sustain that level of intensity and workout day in and day out, in addition to be able to perform in front of an audience when your adrenaline is kicking into another gear. And I know that all athletes go through that. The band students go through that as well. When they have that adrenaline kicking, they start performing like no other, like a professional musician would.
Physically fit and academically fit.
Absolutely.
Too, right? It's one of the things that we talk to our coaches a lot about often.
Yes.
Is making sure that you keep your students motivated so that they're doing well in their academics and they're able to participate in the program. How do you do that?
What we do is we have all of our classes in the morning. And the reason why we have that is to give them the opportunity after school to attend any kind of tutorial or get any help in any class that they need, or go home and do their homework, because if they don't pass, they can't participate. And so it's really important for them to be able to pass all their classes in order to participate in UIL marching competition or any UIL event. Band is UIL, and we also have a TMEA, a track that we go as well, which uses the same rule as UIL, that if you don't pass, you can't participate in some of the competitions that we have through the course of the year that Ms. Mesa kind of described to each and every one of us. So they do have to do that. So that's what we do. We have all our practices in the morning, so that they have the afternoon to be able to attend any kind of meeting that they need to attend to, or get any help, work on picking up their grades. We do stress academics. We have to, because if we don't stress academics, we don't have a band.
Absolutely. We want to thank both directors for joining us here today. We want to wish you, Mr. Rodriguez, the best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Hopefully you get a good result coming out of there. And Ms. Mesa, thank you also for your contribution. And more than anything else, listen, we want to thank the band students for everything they do. Just like the student athletes, student musicians put themselves through a really rigorous process. You heard it here today. And on behalf of Eagle Pass Sports Central, we just want to tell both band programs we're very proud of them, very proud of your students and what they've accomplished. So thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. We'll bring in our coaches now into the broadcast. And while we do that, we'll invite our friend Mr. Ortiz to come in. Alan, thank you as always for your hospitality here. And as the coaches are coming in to have a conversation with us, why don't you talk to us about the great things that are happening here at Brown Chevrolet?
Well, first of all, I want to touch on something you just left off on. The band and these kids are probably what you call the unsung heroes. They're the ones, that get the crowd motivated. The crowd livens up. The football players out there on the field hear that. They get motivated. it's all a win-win for everybody. And it's great that you're showing support for them because, like I said, there's some of the unsung heroes that sometimes people think, okay, well they're just playing, but really they're a cheerleading crowd that gets the crowd riled up and gets the players going. And you know what? Sometimes that turns some games around, and I've seen it happen. But more than anything else, I just want to say thank you for being here. And also, we're going to have this weekend starting a used car blowout. We're going to sell used cars. Come in and make us an offer. They're going to be stationed right over here across the street in that empty lot. They're going to be displayed. And if you come in and make an offer, there's not an offer that we won't take that's reasonable. But I'm telling you, if you want a second car for your family that is in great conditions, been through service, checked, 100 point, make sure everything's running right, no oil leaks or nothing like that, even certified, that come with a warranty, they're going to be available this weekend. So come take advantage of that. And I guarantee you that you're going to get probably one of the best deals you're going to get, because in the next 2 months, come Christmas or November and December, which are coming up quicker than we think, these cars are not going to be plentiful. So if you want to come take advantage and take first pick of the best of the crop, I suggest you come this weekend. And thank you.
Thank you. I'll bring mine, see if someone makes an offer. We'll get it cleaned up. I'll bring it by the shop, Adan. Thank you very much for all of that. And now we want to welcome in the head coaches from both of these programs, from Eagle Pass High School and CC Wing. Coach Roger Olivas, we'll start here on your end. You were down in Laredo last week against what's always a tough Alexander team. And in a very close game, you came up just a little short. Talk to us about some of the bright spots last week and what you've got to look ahead to.
Alec, like you said, it's always, it's one of the games that we circle, one of the games we highlight on our calendar. It's always a tough matchup. Edwin Garcia does a great job with his staff and his team. They have the most returning lettermen coming back. They've gone through some injuries this year as well as we have. And, we went out there, I think we played a really good, first half was, I think we should have been up, probably 10 points, and, we just didn't close some drives at the end. We had some turnovers in the red zone, but I think our boys played hard. They played to the last second of the game. It's like Edwin called me on Monday. He goes, looking back at the game, he goes, Coach, there's one play here, that probably made the difference. You talk about a game of being of inches, and that's definitely what it was. It was a 3rd and 8, and they barely got a first down. And that's what it was. They stopped us on 3rd and inches also. And it was one of those kind of games where any team could have won. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but nevertheless, we came back. We had a great week of practice. We're looking forward to knocking off United.
Things don't get any easier this
sir.
week during homecoming week. You've got a United team that always, again, is tough in district. How are you preparing for that?
Well, we have a lot of friends over there. We can't say too much. Oki's probably listening, and
Our program does reach a
Jason,
vast population,
Yes.
Coach. So we just want to make sure that we're careful.
Maybe he's probably texting me right now. But, David Sanchez is over there. Oki, what else can you say? Two of the best at their business. They're really good at what they do. We have a lot of respect for them, but at the same time, we fear no one. They're coming to our house. We need a win in a big way, and they're the ones that are in front of us for this week.
Absolutely. Homecoming week. I guess if you're a coach, there's never really a good time for homecoming week because your players are a little distracted. But what is the challenge in keeping your guys focused on a week like this?
More than anything, we want our kids to participate in anything what the school has to do. It's their memories, it's their years, and our focus is a football game. And I tell them, as long as all of that is not, taking practice time away and our focus, and I don't have anything against it. As much as I say that, it does become, a little bit that they'll try to, Coach, can I? And I said, no, we got practice first. And, we're smart enough to realize that, we try to get as much as we can in the morning. We're going to go a little bit earlier. We're going to do this. We'll be finished by this time. And, and our sponsor, Ms. Dolores Sanchez, and then Dolores Rodriguez, they're really good about working around our schedule as well.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Coach. We want to invite in offensive coordinator Christian Garcia. Coach Olivas talked a little bit about it, but this Alexander team always plays tough, right? Longtime district opponent. What are some of the bright spots that your offense had last week?
I think that we kept fighting. I think one of the things that we've been seeing is the red zone. That kind of cost us that game. We had 3 times we were inside the 20 and we turned the ball over. And that's one thing we got to fix quick. And I think that changes the game. There's probably 3 or 4 plays in that game that would have changed the outcome. And it's just about our focus down there. It gets tighter. Our focus has to intensify, and we're working on that. We got to fix it quick. We got 3 big games still left in the season. We'll see what happens there. So we're trying to fix it. We're trying to get better, and I loved the way our kids responded this week.
Very good. Looking forward to Friday's game. You've got a Longhorn team coming in that is going to play you tough. Offensively, what are you looking for? Are you going to be as tight-lipped as Coach Olivas was there about the game plan, or?
No, we got to come out and do what we do. When we get down there, we got to finish drives. We always tell them finish with a kick, whether it's a field goal or an extra point. We got to be finishing drives down there. It's really, we always tend to let's focus on us. Focus on us and let's do better at the things we need to get better at.
Sounds good. And we'll see what that Longhorn defense brings in. And I know your boys will be ready. Want to bring in defensive coordinator Ricky Ruiz. Coach, welcome to the broadcast. Same question for you. What are some of the bright spots that you saw defensively a week ago against Alexander, and what are you preparing for on Friday for United?
Our defense played hard all game. They gave us all the game. We had no questions asked. We made some mistakes. We didn't finish the game. That's what cost us the game. But like y'all were talking about earlier about the band, we didn't have a band that week or that Friday. So maybe if the band would have been there, we would have won that game. They would have pushed us. Yeah, but they do motivate us. And they bring in a lot of energy. And sometimes that's what we lack. And we got to finish. We got to learn how to finish.
So looking forward to Friday's game, what do you expect out of that Longhorn offense, and how are you going to protect against it?
United's 4-0, and we know about United. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to do 8 out of 10 plays. They're throwing the ball. But like I've always said, we're a good team, and don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. We're going to play hard.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you and your boys. Coach Olivas, want to bring you in before we move over to the Mavericks. Again, it's homecoming week. You'll have a homecoming parade tonight, and then we will be there for that broadcast on Friday. Final comments from you.
Oh, well, come support our team tonight. 5:30, our parade starts at La Plaza, and we'll be heading down towards the old Eagle Field, and come and support our players. We have a 7:00 kickoff Friday. Come, wear orange, be loud, and, come support our Eagles.
The right orange, not United orange.
No.
Burnt orange.
And it's Texas orange.
Texas orange.
Nike, it's desert orange. So, depend
Whatever the copyright is, right, that day. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to wish the Mavericks good luck tomorrow, as they go out to face Southwest. And I know their staff, and I know they're hungry, and I know they're going to do well.
Thank you so much, Coach. Stick around for predictions. We'll turn to this side now. Head coach Rene Ramirez. Tough game last week again against the Martin Tigers. Talk to us a little bit about what you saw that gives you some motivation going into an early game this week tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Southwest coming in.
Yes, sir. Again, hard fought, pretty much heartbreaker. Going into halftime, we're one position. We're down just by one position again, and we let it slip away. It was a battle of it was a matter of losing the takeaway battle. So anytime that happens, it's hard to overcome. But nonetheless, we're proud of our kids. They fought hard to the end. We challenged them there in halftime as well, and it's like they do day in and day out. They never give up on us.
Absolutely. We talked about it. You've got a short week of preparation, right? Always a challenge. Game is tomorrow, and you've got a very difficult district opponent. You've got Southwest coming in. How do you get your students prepared with a quick turnaround like that?
We kind of had to make some adjustments as far as with the physical part. Like we mentioned last week, everybody's in the thick of thin right now, the thick of things. So everybody's hurting. Everybody's been through a long season up until now. we're all in the same situations, whether it may be injury, wins and loss of whatever it may be. So we kind of pieced it together throughout, obviously putting all heads together, just matched it up as much as we can as we could. Challenged our kids again with the short week. Got one film session left this afternoon, just to provide another perspective for our kids. And we're hungry, and they're ready. Last time we came, we faced an undefeated team that was on top of our district. We come out with a great performance, so we expect the same thing tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thank you, Coach. Let's bring in offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator Heriberto Royce. Coach, always tough down there in Shirley Field, but your guys gave it their all. We were there to broadcast that game. Morris was there broadcast on Eagle Pass Sports Central. What are some of the bright spots that you saw in your offense, and how does that look coming forward or moving forward?
Well, absolutely. We had some difficult situations, especially early in the game. We were inside the 30 twice, back-to-back drives, and we turned it over. And it's kind of hard when you start. Obviously, in any team, in any competition, you want to create momentum. And when you start that sluggish, it kind of hurt us. We moved the ball well from at times, but we couldn't finish drives. We were inside the 30 for three times in total. With 0 points, not even a chance to get a field goal, because obviously they intercepted the ball twice. So the bright spot was that kids responded well in halftime. We talked about it in halftime, and we talked to them back on Monday when we saw them back again, and they were in good spirits. They're hungry for a win again, to take care of business, and their attitude is splendid. They're locked in. They understand. They grew from those opportunities that we had. We talked about as an offensive group in the video rooms. It's just, we got to finish drives, and we get a chance. We got to come out with either a field goal or a score. Give us a chance, and then obviously again give our defense a better situation and take advantage of the field position as well.
Absolutely. What does that Southwest defense bring in tomorrow that you've got to be ready for?
Southwest is there's 56 kids in that team, and 40 of them are seniors, and there's 15 juniors and one sophomore. So there's a lot of experience. We expect an aggressive team coming in. Obviously, we got to make sure that we stick with our plan and kind of just make sure that we execute as much as we can every opportunity that we get. It's a mature group. They're very talented. They're well coached as well. They're gonna do what they do. It's not gonna be any secret as far as the difference what they do. They pretty much stay the same since week 1 or week 0 to now. It's an out front. They're gonna reduce the nines, cover 2, and then you snap the ball. We're gonna try to get you. So we plan to just make sure that we don't create any obstacles that are not there. Play the game the right way, be aggressive, stay consistent, take care of the football, stay on the field as much as we can, and get some points. And at least try to get every single drive, come out with some points, or not win the field position as far as staying on the field.
Absolutely. And we'll be there for that game tomorrow also.
Yes.
Want to bring in co-defensive coordinator Saul Salas. Coach, welcome to the broadcast.
How you doing, Ruben?
We're doing well, thank you. Coach always talked about it a little bit. Sometimes the defense has what's in front of them, right? Sometimes it's a difficult position in terms of field position based on what your offense has done. How do you talk to your guys about just dealing with what's in front of them and getting the job done?
It's funny. We had that conversation, Coach Alvin and myself, and in the film room, and we talked to the guys, and he said we could just control what we could control. And you know something? Wherever they get the ball, we need to go and play hard and try to get them out. Try to get them out of the field. I mean, and you know something? No excuses. We gave up some touchdowns we shouldn't have. It should have been a much closer game. Our kids fought hard. We had some guys that hadn't played a position. We put them in there. The lights were kind of bright for some of them, but you know something? Our kids always find a way to come back. The hardworking kids.
What are you expecting defensively to see from that Dragon offense that comes in tomorrow?
Like Coach Ram said, they have 12 different formations. They've been running that for the past 20 years. I know Coach Olivas and Coach Ruiz and all of them know on them. They go 10 personnel, they go 20 personnel, they go 21 personnel, they go 22 personnel, they go 32 personnel, they go 31 personnel. So you know something, our kids did actually really good. That's what been working since Monday on formation recognition, doing alignment, assignment, and execution. And you know something, our kids did really good. we've been trying to slow it down. And Coach Ram said, you know something, we're going to slow it down so we could just see the different formations. They bring mass substitutions. We just went to go see them this last week against Southwest Legacy. And you know something, they'll send 10 people at a time with different personnel. But you know something, the coaches are going to have to be in their A game, and the kids got to bring it.
Absolutely. We'll be there for that matchup.
Real quick.
Sure.
On Ruben, on the band, they're always working hard. And I told the kids, Ruben has some big kids. I told them, hey, they don't want to play football. there's some huge kids. I was like, hey, come and put on the pads, or you could help us out a little bit. He was like,
You want to put any big kids in front of football coaches because they'll try to take them from you for sure. And basketball coaches will try to take your tall kids. Band directors know that too. Coach, it's good to be home, isn't it? Good to have a game at home finally tomorrow. Some final thoughts from you.
Just again, thank Brown Chevrolet for hosting us. Wish the Eagle Pass Eagles best of luck on their challenge on Friday and their homecoming. Wish them a great homecoming parade. Best of luck to the sub-varsity teams today. Our JV travels to Southwest, and our freshman play here. And then congratulations and best of luck to our band, to Mr. Rodriguez and all his staff and all the kids. Just to reiterate some of the stuff that he mentioned is that we see them in the mornings on our way to the practice field, and sometimes they come out a little earlier than us, or sometimes we come later based on our schedule. And obviously we hear them. And going back to bringing the energy, we can hear the fight song, we can hear the production, whatever's going on, and that surely it eliminates us as coaches as well. So again, best of luck on that, and just invite the public tomorrow, the Maverick faithful, come support our kids, and looking for a great outing tomorrow night. Thank you, Coach. Eagle Pass Sports Central will be there for both games this week. Tomorrow, as the Southwest Dragons come in and face the Mavericks, and then on Friday, as the Longhorns come in and face the Eagles. Let's bring in Athletic Director Eric Villaseñor to help us along with the predictions for this week. Coach, I bet people were thinking we weren't going to have you on this week. This is the latest you've joined the broadcast all season long, but thank you also for your contributions. Morris couldn't be with us today. I promise that Morris and I are okay. We haven't been together in a prediction show for about 3 weeks. We're not mad at each other. There's nothing going on there. We're not going to split apart for 2 shows. We're trying to get our schedules ready, but Morris did the game by himself last Thursday due to my schedule. So eventually you all are going to get us back together. Morris didn't call in his predictions because he thought he was going to be there last minute. He didn't, so we'll get his later, but we'll start off in the high school ranks. Westlake at Lake Travis. Coach Eric?
Westlake.
Coach Roger?
Westlake.
Going to go with Westlake.
Wesley.
Coach Ram? Westlake, and I know not to go against football coaches who know what they're talking about, so we'll go with Westlake too. By the way, this is something Morris always does, and I don't, but let's talk a little bit about records. Morris in the lead, 58-22, so doing well. Coach Roger, after him, 56-24, had a good week last week, and then it is yours truly, 55-25, followed by Coach Eric at 53-27, and Coach, right now it looks like you've got to have. Are you ready to make some pancakes? Because the loser's buying breakfast for everybody, Coach. So, and I mean, you've seen how the people around here can put away some food. So you need to. That's right. You need to make sure you step up your game. Next game here, Corpus Christi Ray against Corpus Christi Moody. Coach Eric.
I'm going to go Moody.
One of the older. Almost original high schools in Corpus Christi, and one of the oldest rivalries. Coach Roger?
Moody.
Going to go with Moody. Coach Ram?
Moody.
We'll go with Moody there, and you guys must know something I don't, so I'm going to go with Moody there as well. Bernie Champion versus Victoria East. Coach Eric?
Bernie Champion.
Going to go with Champion there. Coach Roger?
I'm going to go with East.
Going to go with Victoria East. Coach Ram?
Champion.
Bernie Champion, and I'm going to go with Bernie Champion as well. The Hutto Hippos against Vandergrift, talking about good band programs. Vandergrift, one of the best in the state. Coach Eric?
Vandergrift.
Vandergrift there. Coach Roger?
Have a good band, Vandergrift.
Coach Ram.
Vandergrift.
Going to go with Vandergrift, and I will go with Vandergrift there. Well, here's an interesting one in the ACC. No one expected, as we go into the college ranks, no one expected SMU to be doing as well as they are. They've only lost one game early on, and they've been sweeping through the ACC after that. So SMU goes down into North Carolina to face Duke. Coach Eric.
SMU.
Going to go with SMU. Coach. Going to go with the Mustangs there as well. Coach.
SMU.
Going to follow SMU, and I'm going to go with SMU there as well. Here's a big one. Hey, we never expected this to be a matchup of ranked teams at the beginning of the year, right? But UT goes into Vanderbilt, who's already knocked off Alabama this season and won last week as well. UT coming off a tough loss that cost everybody here because we all predicted that UT would win. So we all took an L there last week. But UT's going in to face the Commodores there in Vanderbilt. Coach Eric.
Texas.
Going to go with UT on the comeback. Coach Roger. Going with UT.
Texas.
Going to go with UT. And you know what? Vanderbilt's been a giant killer. I'm going to take Vanderbilt this week
I like their quarterback.
and see what they do. They have a very good quarterback, and UT might have a quarterback controversy on their hands. So, we'll see what happens there. Here's the big one. The big man isn't here to pick on this one, but LSU versus A&M. Coach Eric.
I'm going to go LSU.
LSU. Coach Roger?
I'm going in.
Coach?
LSU.
Gonna go with LSU, and I'm gonna go with the Aggies here on this one. Otherwise, Morris will give me heck when I see him. Next time. I don't know why Morris put this on the schedule. It's gonna put me in a tough position. But Missouri going into Alabama. We just cleared Auburn this past week. Those of you that saw the game, boy, Mizzou, we had to have our quarterback come back literally from the hospital just to finish that game and give us the victory. Now they're going into a very angry Bama team. So let's pick it. Coach Eric?
Bama.
Yeah, we expected that, I think, from almost everybody. Coach Roger? Coach, thank you for the support, gentlemen. I appreciate it. I've got to go with Mizzou in the upset there and hope that we do the best we can down there in Tuscaloosa. Let's go to the pros now. Bears go to Washington to face the Commanders. Coach Eric?
I'm going to go Commanders.
Going to go with Washington there. Coach Roger?
I'm going to go Commanders also.
Washington. Jaden Daniels been doing a good job this season. Coach?
Bears.
Going to go with the Bears, and I'm going to go with Washington as well. I like their quarterback play. The big one now on Sunday night, Cowboys in Santa Clara against the 49ers. Coach Eric?
Cowboys.
Gonna go with the Cowboys. Coach Roger?
Cowboys.
Gonna take the Cowboys there. Coach Ram?
49ers.
Oh, going with the 49ers. And I'm going to go with the Cowboys. The 49ers are pretty beat up this season. There are your predictions for week 9 of high school football. We want to thank Miss Corina Mesa for joining us today in representation of the Mighty Eagle Band.
Ruben, I'd like
Coach.
to just congratulate. We have 2 state qualifiers in boys cross country, and they'll be competing in Round Rock on November 1st and November 2nd. The first young man is out of Eagle Pass High School, Alex Alvarez, and the next young man is out of Wynn High School, Javier Ramirez. So we wish them the best of luck, and we congratulate them.
Congratulations to them and to both of those programs. We've had both of those coaches on the show already.
Just a
this
sidebar
season.
too. So we're not going to open the visitor locker room for United until about 6:59.
Turn the
I've
heater
just
off.
been informed the AC broke. So
Well,
we're
there's
we're creating some intangibles there.
There's a coach on the staff over there, Coach, that might have something to say that I think has your cell phone number. He might be giving you a call if they arrive there, and that's the
I got one
case.
thing to say. Coach Ramirez made a good point about the band, and my son's in the band, and I need to say that my wife always tells me, "You're home and the band is still practicing." So, they get up and have morning practices the way we do, real early in the morning. He's out of the house sometimes before I am, and I go to work real early, and he gets home before 8. So I just want to say that he loves band, he loves his directors, and he has a lot of fun, being part of that program.
Welcome to the band family, Coach.
Yeah,
I know
you've seen me.
I see you at some competitions, and I'm happy to explain what's going on at all times. Just the way you explain X's and O's to us. We appreciate that.
You do fill me in. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Coach. On behalf of our partners at Universal Media Connections, we want to thank their sponsors, Sangar Furniture, La Villita Tortilla Factory, Border Federal Credit Union, Emergency, Factory, Joe Ruiz and Associates, Lorena Melo State Farm, Choch's Barbecue, United Medical Centers, Los Venados, Tammany Insurance, and Retro Ranch Western Wear. And on behalf of Eagle Pass Sports Center, we want to thank Mr. Adan Ortiz and Brown Chevrolet GMC of Eagle Pass for their hospitality and for allowing us to be here for the prediction shows. Join us, please, tomorrow. Coach, kickoff is 7:30?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock start time, 7 o'clock start time for the Eagles on Friday. We'll be there to cover both games. We want to thank both Mr. Ruben Rodriguez and Ms. Corina Mesa for joining us today, and we want to wish both of their band programs the best. Mr. Rodriguez, good luck to you on Saturday as well, and we want to thank you for joining us as you always do. We'll see you next time.